So we're going to do this pattern that we learned in our class, which is found in multiple places, Pakistan, India, at a couple of different tombs, for example, Jahangir's tomb. And it's beautiful. There are 8 stars that surround one star, and there's a little flower in the center, and there's a lot of potential to make this one quite beautiful. You can also do like an acrylic pattern. This is just acrylic with a gold pen, which is a work in progress. But let us see how to create this one. So the first thing you're going to do with whatever size paper you have is draw a line going halfway across the center, and then just note the center of that line. And then you're going to draw a circle, and the circle can be pretty much as big as, or the radius of the circle can be pretty much as big as your sheet, leaving a little bit on either side. So I just have a regular size like computer paper here, so I'm just going to do circles just like this. And then we need to draw the arcs on either side. So you could do a full rotation, but I'm just going to do a rotation like this. I'm not going to do the full rotation just for purposes of being neater. So do that on the right and the left, above and below. And then we need to get our bisecting line. So the way that we do that is, I'm just going to grab another compass that has a smaller radius. You need to draw 2 arcs that cross, and you place the point of the compass where the arc that you just drew and the circle intersect. And as long as they cross, you're good. And if you only have one compass, you can resize your compass and then resize it again. Or if you have enough room, you might not even need to resize your compass. So then I'm going to connect those 2 arcs that I just drew with my center, and that's going to be my bisecting line, my vertical line. Just like that. And then I'm going to place the point of my compass where that vertical line and the circle touch. And I'm just going to complete. And again, I don't need to draw the full arc. I just really need these pieces that I'm showing you. And now I'll just encompass my design in a square by connecting the tips of these shapes that I just drew. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a square encompassing the shape that I have currently. And then I will draw my diagonals through the center. Just like that. And now I will draw a dynamic and static square inside my circle here. So I'm just going to change colors in a moment, but I won't change colors yet. So I'll start with this purple. So we're still in the construction phase. So I'll draw my dynamic square by connecting the top and the sides and the bottom in like a diamond shape. And then my static square. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my circles, my 8 circles around, and then my 1 circle in the middle. So the way that you draw these circles is you place the point of the compass where your stars intersect each other. So there's 8 points, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you go to the next adjacent line, and there's 2 of them. There's this one here, and then there's this one. And you can always check like your accuracy by doing a little peek beforehand, but if you're ready, then you just draw your circle. Just like that. Okay, and then you go around to each of those points. You can check your accuracy. You might have to do some little adjustments. It's better to err on the side of being a bit too small than a bit too big, because overlapping would not be great. Okay, it's not the end of the world if they do overlap, but it's not ideal. Ideally, they just touch, they're just tangent. Okay, and then the center one. And then what we want to do is we want to draw a dynamic and static square in each circle. So then we need those 8 divisions again. So the way that we get the 8 divisions is we can just actually go across, like, okay, let's do vertical. Okay, vertical's already here, connect the centers, do the vertical here, and you don't need to go across the whole, you just need to stay the whole page. You just would stay within the circle, connect the circles. Already have the vertical. Then horizontal. Already have horizontal. Horizontal here. Horizontal here by connecting the centers. And then here you already have the horizontal, and then diagonal. So you go like this. Here you already have diagonal. Just like that. And then diagonal the other way. Here you have it. Just like that. And then in each one, you would draw a static and dynamic square. So I'll do that in blue. And I'll just zoom in on one of them. Okay, so I'll zoom in on this one. So the dynamic square, you're just going to do the exact same thing. It's a okay, and as you're drawing it, you may notice that you can take some shortcuts. For example, here, when I'm drawing this edge, it actually connects with this. So you can, and here when I'm drawing this piece, it actually connects with this. So the more lines that you line up, or the more points that you line up, generally the better your accuracy. So if you see how to line things up, then I would encourage you to do that. Okay, even here, lining up. And then let's just draw the center one. So I'll draw the dynamic and static square in the center. Okay, so now you would go around and do the dynamic and static square everywhere. And then when we want to connect it to the center piece, okay, what we can do is we would go to every point on the center circle. Okay, so every point on the center circle, and we would just extend it a little bit. And I'm just going to draw one more piece here to fully illustrate what I mean. Okay, so now what you would do is you go to every piece. I'm just going to do one as an example, and you just extend the line a little bit. And I'll do it in pencil just so that I'm, because if I overshoot, then I would need to erase a little bit. So you just extend this line here, and then you extend this line here. Okay, just place your ruler on the line and then just extend the line. And then you're going to extend these 2 lines until they hit the line that you just extended. Just like that. Okay, and then you have the lines. Now I'll draw it. Just like that. And then you can just also extend this line to get that half-half. So now you have this bottom half piece, and then you have this piece too. Okay, and you would go to each point of your star, and you would do the exact same thing. Now, if you want to have a width, then you would have to do another circle that's a smaller size inside each circle and do the exact same thing. Dynamic and static square, and then just extend the lines to get this piece. So I'm not going to show that. You would just really just repeat your own. You just draw a smaller circle, draw the dynamic static square, and then that's the exact same thing. Then you get that thickness. And for the little flower, so you can draw yourself a circle. You can either draw it by hand, or you could use your compass. Either one is fine, just as a little guide. And then you would just draw your circle in that guide. And of course you can use the compass for that circle, or you can just do it by hand and have it a little more free-flowing. Okay, and then that's it. You repeat that everywhere else. And you would really only want to keep, like in your final design, you'd only want to keep the outline of your star. So you wouldn't want to keep all the construction. You really only want this outline here that I'm doing right now. Everything else is construction. Okay, so you just keep that outline piece, and then everything else is construction. And then you would repeat it multiple times, and you would have your final design. I'll just zoom out. And there you have it.